Welcome to part 10 of Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker.
Careful, Snake. I've never seen anything like that, and I've got no idea how to bring it down. Maybe the scientist knows. However you do it, take that thing out.
Yep. So, it's the Pupa Battle. It's the first of the AI weapons we have to find in this game. Spoilers. But the scientist can help us. He basically tells us how to fight. And I'll tell you the stuff that he doesn't say in this specific playthrough. Or at least most of it. Whatever I can remember. It looks threatening, but it's the easiest out of the AI robots, for obvious reasons, it being the first one. So, let's begin! Oh, that was annoying. Alright, so you want to have the strongest machine gun you have at the time, which, I mean, when you first fight this thing, it should be the M60, and you want the RPG too, because, or Law, if you decided not to do the optional extra ops. That always seems to get me, but then I got good at dodging. Alright, so whenever it says engaging shock units, you're going to want to keep moving and not stand there like I did. He says that because when you shoot that, it does the most damage. Although, for a reason you'll learn later, you're going to want to shoot as many parts of the machine as possible. If you're going for speed and stuff, then you're going to want to only shoot the AI pod, but if you're going for grinding and shit, you're going to want to shoot everything. As you can see, when you shoot the AI pod, it does like 700 points of damage, but when you shoot everywhere else, it does like 300 to 200. That did 85. Okay, when it does this attack, you're gonna want you just lie down, and it went down the corridor.
There will be some warning signs when it's coming out.
Basically, the sound comes from that direction. There's 3 holes on the bottom and 3 in the upper part of the arena. And he just, you know, launches itself out. Thump. Anyway, yeah, as you can see, shooting back only gets you like 200, 300 points, but up here it gets you 800. Keep moving! See, you just easily need to just walk out of the way. Well, really, you should only use the RPG, like, if there's a point like this where it's staying still. That's why you want to have a machine gun and a rocket launcher of some sort. Oh yeah, it's firing boosters thing, you can just sort of walk over to the side. My video's frozen, but I know it works. God, this thing's a dick. Anyway. Okay, so for this attack, you just want to shoot to find a pocket close enough. Sorry, shooting out lightning rods. So yeah, then it does a super electro thing, but as long as you shoot out, like, that's why you want to hide in the corner, because then the electricity coming from the sides can't hit you. And if you shoot the ones closest to the pocket you want to sit in, then you're set. So, just lie down, then get up too early because the thing went through the camera and you didn't know how far it went. Alright, so I thought this was a good time to use the supply marker. So it's just like C4. You press the attack button while holding it after you deploy one. Then gives you a cardboard box with supplies you need, like rations and ammo. Yeah. So, I mean, if you use those too many times in a mission, then your heroism goes down. So, you really want to not use them. You really want to not use them. That attack, the scientist says that you can shoot out his treads to make him not use that attack, but it's so easy to dodge that you really shouldn't, and should just hit the AI pod. Yep, trying to get to a corner without being hit. Speaking of heroism, from like 5 minutes ago, a good way to knock up your heroism points is to wear the naked clothing, which is, you know, no shirt. It limits like weapon capacity. Well, really, it just limits ammo, like the amount of ammo you can have and stuff. So, I mean, it makes sense that your heroism will go up, and it halves your camo because you're only wearing half the clothes, pants. But yeah, just being informative, you know. Apparently, hitting the electro thing hurts more than hitting the brainstem, basically. If you compare the AI cord, like they're going to, spoilers, to a brain, then... I mean, they're gonna bring it up in this part, that's the only reason I'm telling you. Oh, by the way, after this fight, the rest of the thing's cutscene. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that he actually used an attack. Alrighty! So this is how you're gonna beat most of the AI pods, that's why you also want to have a rocket launcher, because one hit knocks out the AI pod. So, after you do enough damage, the robot freaks out, and then you can open up the AI pod and destroy it from the inside, which is what we're gonna do. Otherwise, I think if you take too long, then you just have to blow it up and wait for it to have no health. Or it might go up in health, I don't know. I mean, I've never done it, and I'm not gonna demo it.
Pull out all the AI's memory boards before the pod's ejected. The black memory boards are locked. Go after the boards with icons on them.
And that's why we wanted to shoot other parts of the body, because for each of those it's a different part that we will...
You can unlock memory boards by destroying the mechanical components that they control. Any boards you remove can be used to build our own AI weapon. Memory boards have different functions according to the icons displayed over them. Go ahead and take whichever ones you want.
Yeah, he's going to say that throughout every AI pod that we go, but I'll just talk over the other ones. Yeah, you don't have to remove all of them in the time limit. You just want to remove most of them, so we can use them for our own AI weapon, which technically the scientist hasn't actually joined our team, so to say, yet, but he's going to at the end of this part, which is why I'm talking about it. So, whatever. And, have some cutscene, because that's the rest of the video. But don't leave, it's important, it's plot.
That was an unmanned weapon. A prototype. I made it myself.
Who are you?
I work here. Well, used to, anyway. Name's Huey. And who might you be? You don't look like one of those mercenaries.
Me. I'm an entomologist.
A fighting entomologist?
I specialize in butterflies. I'm here to catch Ulysses.
Ulysses? Huh. I didn't think they lived in Costa Rica. Morphos, maybe?
That's it. Need to get some before the Washington Treaty goes into effect.
Says here Morphos aren't covered under the treaty.
Must have slipped my mind.
You sure you're feeling all right?
Anyway, long story short, the butterfly got away. So how about it, Doc? Did you make that big butterfly too?
Yes. And no.
What was that thing? What are they doing here?
Huh. Something tells me you're no ordinary entomologist. The nukes were loaded on that machine. The project's entering its final phase.
Project?
That's right. The thermonuclear warheads they brought in, the bases scattered throughout Costa Rica, the mercenaries, the AI weapons, the research we were conducting here. It's all for this. We used this facility to develop unmanned weapons.
Unmanned?
Robots. The one you just fought was a pupa. There's also a flying type called chrysalis and a treaded type, the cocoon. Motor control, target detection, tracking, attack, capture, and transport functions are all controlled by an electronic brain. There's no need for a human pilot. They can only follow simple commands, though.
Why build them here?
For the CIA. They invited me here a year ago.
That's who that guy was.
CIA's station chief for Central America. Goes by the name of Hot Coldman. Apparently he was some sort of hero back at the height of the Cold War. He's the one running the show. We called it the Peace Walker Project.
Peace Walker.
They're going to deploy a new type of nuclear weapon along the Caribbean coast of Latin America. A mobile, unmanned nuclear platform.
Unmanned nuclear platform.
A fail-deadly system that can automatically move into position and launch a retaliatory nuclear strike. It can move on its own, and stealth shields it from radar and satellite detection, drastically reducing the risk of it being destroyed in a preemptive strike.
And this is the new deterrent?
Supposed to be. The problem is the locomotion system. There's no dry season in the Caribbean. It rains all year round. The terrain is full of tropical rainforest. A lot of the time you can't even build a proper road. So I went back to where it all started.
What's that?
Legs. Walking power. A mobile launcher carrying a thermonuclear warhead even more powerful than the Soviet RDS-220s. That's Peace Walker.
Chico's Basilisco.
We did the assembly and field testing here.
A walking nuke.
I sort of borrowed the original idea from behind the Iron Curtain.
The missing link between infantry and artillery. Metal Gear.
Metal Gear. But they'd actually need to deploy dozens of them. Coldman needs funding for that. And to get it, he's planning a test, which will also serve as a demonstration for the folks back at Langley.
Wait, he's launching a nuke to prove that his perfect deterrent works?
In his words, to prove that if someone attacks us, we will strike back. Put simply, nuclear deterrence is the idea of using nukes to keep nukes in check. If one side launches nuclear weapons, the other is sure to launch theirs in retaliation, which makes launching an act of suicide. In the end, neither side can use its nukes. It's thanks to this doctrine that the world's two superpowers have avoided all-out confrontation. Nuclear deterrence has brought us peace. At the very least, it's prevented another world war from breaking out. But the theory of nuclear deterrence exists only on paper. In reality, there's no guarantee that either side would follow through with retaliation. There's the chance that a preemptive strike could destroy all the missile bases, render them unable to retaliate. But the biggest flaw in the theory is that the decision to retaliate has to be made by human beings. Let me give you a real-world example. Let's say Country X launches first against Country Y. If the people in charge of Country Y are like you and me, they're not going to be able to retaliate, knowing that they're effectively ending all human life.
So then the weak link in nuclear deterrence theory is the uncertainty of retaliation.
Bingo. And that creates a loophole Country X can exploit to launch the first strike. Which is why we designed the system to be unmanned. With Peace Walker, retaliation is certain. It chooses the appropriate target and launches a retaliatory nuclear strike, every time, without needing human input to make the call. Launching a nuclear strike against Peace Walker is tantamount to pushing the launch button against yourself. It closes the loophole in nuclear deterrence theory, rendering our friends in Country X completely unable to launch. What Coldman is saying is that to achieve this goal, we need to demonstrate that retaliation will be carried out by a machine. He will launch his nuke. And then his version of deterrence will be complete.
And you believe him?
I believe in peace through nuclear deterrence.
Why?
My father worked on the Manhattan Project. He put his whole life into that research. And all it created was this illusion of peace called deterrence. And then I was born, unable to walk. I had no choice but to face up to the nukes. But if they do end up launching, it'll all have been for nothing. They've got to be stopped.
Where'd they take the warheads?
To a base near the border. The final test is 5 days from now.
Where's the base?
You're gonna stop them? It's kind of a hike. And besides, there's a surefire way to halt the project. You see, Peace Walker isn't quite finished yet.
What do you mean?
It's missing one last critical structural component. The AI. Its brain. The reptile pod, the electronic brain I was working on, can only follow commands like, go there, attack that. I guess you could compare it to the human cerebellum. But for nuclear deterrence to work, it must function in place of a human decision maker. It needs something to analyze the huge volumes of data coming in and select an appropriate target for retaliation. Hence, it needs the high-level decision-making ability of a cerebrum.
A mechanical cerebrum.
The hardware configuration is modeled on the human brain, similar to the pod I worked on, but its role is completely different.
Where's it being made?
A research lab to the north. An AI expert named Dr. Strangelove is developing it. Very hush-hush.
Dr. Strangelove.
Strangelove was recruited from the States, too. In the field of AI, there's no one better, that's for sure. But man, what a basket case. She hates everybody. Go to the lab and destroy Peace Walker's cerebrum. I'm pretty sure they haven't finished the final calibrations yet. I'll lend you my ID card. It'll get you through security at the lab. Oh, and one more thing.
What's this? A letter of recommendation?
Yeah, it's from me to Dr. Strangelove. Don't read it, okay?
So what will you do now?
I'm done with science. At this rate, I'm probably already halfway to hell anyway.
Not so fast. Why not join us? Our place is outer heaven. You'd fit right in.
Outer heaven?
Yeah.
I'm probably better suited to something like that than this paradise.
Good. You get a free balloon trip for signing up. Enjoy it. You'll feel like a butterfly.
You're an agent, right? Who do you work for?
Me? I was a Cold War tool, same as you. Now I'm not so useful anymore, so they cut me loose. I don't answer to anyone. Call me Snake.
Snake. That name seems familiar somehow.
It's probably just deja vu.
You see that there? Beyond the cloud forest? See those ruins?
Yeah.
That's where you'll find Dr. Strangelove's lab.
Snake, the doctor's safe here with us.
Huey, how are you feeling?
Never better. This is quite the pad you've got here, boss. I'm impressed.
Call me Snake.
Whatever you say. Like it or not, everyone here calls you boss. By the way, if you're at all interested in improving your tech, by all means assign me to the R&D section. I'm pretty sure I'll be of some use. Once we have the necessary materials and blueprints, we can start work on that bipedal mech.
I appreciate that, but are you sure you're okay with having your work used for war?
I'll be using it to keep past mistakes in check. If I can help thwart the Peace Walker project, I'm happy to do it.
Deterrence theory, Huey style, huh?
Anyway, if you need any intel on the enemy's weapons or electronic brains, contact me. I've been given my own frequency.
Sounds good to me, Doc. I'll do that.
Good. Whatever the means, you must put a stop to their plans.
I got a report in from the R&D team. They finished plans for a new Hex-type plant, and today they're gonna start construction on the first block. Can't wait to finally say goodbye to this scrap heap. Only thing is, we don't have nearly enough GMP. We'll need to recruit more soldiers to get more GMP. You know what to do, Snake. Hey boss, you mind if we powwow for a sec?
What now? MSF brand rations?
Actually, that sounds... No. With all the men we have now, it may be time we started sending some of them to other countries.
You mean dispatching marks?
How else are we gonna keep feeding the crew we have?
I know. You're right.
Okay, to deploy troops, select Outer Ops from the Mother Base menu. If it goes really well, we might even get new recruits, weapon design specs, or leads on new missions. We can deploy any vehicles or large-scale weapons in our arsenal as well.
And if things don't go really well?
Yeah, we could lose men. I won't try and force you. You're the one calling the shots here, boss.